College basketball on CBS Sports Network is presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. From Boise, Idaho, at ExtraMile Arena, the surging Boise State Broncos play host to the Air Force Falcons. And we welcome you down courtside, John Sadak, alongside the Baylor Bear and King McClure. King, the Broncos have won 9 in a row, one of the hottest teams in the country. How are they doing it?
John, let's sum it up in 2 things. Number one, this team absolutely clamps on the defensive end. Their size, their length makes it hard for teams to score. Number two, these guys are unified. They're playing as one. They move the basketball, and it looks good.
And you see the big man there, Mladen Armush, 6'10", 240, one of the best rebounders in the country. Leaps against Lucas Mormon. Air Force goes back to the starting lineup it used in its first 11 games and wins the tap in the capable hands of Ethan Taylor, who came off an all-time day for a Falcon.
Ethan Taylor's a special player, triple-double. As a freshman, it's hard to do, John.
First in program history for any Falcon of any class age. And now fed down the lane, lefty off the window.
The Falcons love to cut. That's something they'll do all game long.
Let's see what Boise State does against an Air Force defense that's top 25 in scoring defense and defending the three. But Dagon Hart, wide open, buries the triple.
Look, that's not the guy you want to leave open. 42 from 3. Do not leave Dagon Hart open because that is an absolute bucket.
He has been a chemistry facilitator. Oh, great cut. What a feed. Rejected at the rim, Mormon. The rebound, put back, fouled as he got swallowed up in the double team.
Tyson Dagon Hart, do not leave him open. The miscommunication on defense. 42 from 3, that is an automatic green light right there.
Foul went to Marcus Shaver, who is Boise State's top scorer. He's exploded in conference play. Free throw miss for Mormon, who has struggled just 1 of 5 at the line on the year. Shaver, though, in conference action came 21.5 points per game and shooting like crazy.
He's very efficient, and that's what I'm most impressed with on the year. 41 from 3, 45 from the field. Efficiency at your best player is all you can ask for. He's not a gunner. He takes the right shots.
Oddly enough, a Bronco team that's second worst in the country at the line, the benefactor of 2 Falcon misses. Now the staggered defense that knocked the ball free briefly, no possession exchange. What are we seeing defensively from Air Force?
They pack it in. A lot of times they might give you a zone, but they pack it in, make it hard for you to get the ball inside, as you see the block right there. But they love to play that pack line defense. Good call right here. Clearly in the charge circle. Right call, it's a block.
Joseph Octave, who came off the bench Saturday against Nevada. First time after he had missed the prior couple of games. He's part of that reinsertion into the starting lineup for head man Joe Scott. Now, Boise State's Leon Rice praised what Tyson Dagon Hart gave when he joined the starting lineup.
He did. I mean, he's had big games, but the biggest thing is the camaraderie that he's brought to the table. I mean, he just makes everybody better because of his shooting ability, but he also just knows how to play the right way.
And Dagon Hart, 3-time Freshman of the Week in the Mountain West for Leon Rice. He credited his freshman with being a big part of the win streak, said that he makes everyone better. Not only that he can shoot and stretch the defense, but that chemistry factor. Clean pocket pick. Abu Kijab. There's Shaver. Transfer from the University of Portland, who's exploded this year. Dagon Hart, the double comes. Aycott the lead. Oh, nice up fake, strong take, and it goes down from Armush. And Leon Rice said he's waiting for his offense to blossom a little more.
I mean, they have the pieces. I mean, they have the length, they have the size. I mean, their backcourt with Aycott and Shavers, I mean, those guys get buckets at a high rate. I mean, they just have to really just put it all together because their defense has been spectacular. But once their offense comes up, watch out for this team. This team can be scary.
Watch out for late in the shot clock shots from Air Force as a foul on Shaver going over the back. That's going to be 2 on the Broncos' leading scorer. What do you do?
You have to put him on the bench. 17 minutes, 2 minutes into the game, you're leading scorer. You have to put him on the bench, and sometimes you have to realize you can't get caught up in those plays if you're the best player, if you're the leading scorer. You got to give some things up.
Coach's son Max Rice is in. Air Force loves to work the clock. They average holding the ball for 20.5 seconds each possession.
Man, those used to be the most annoying teams to go up against when I was at Baylor. Those teams who just grind it out. But you have to stay disciplined, and you must finish every play with the rebound, because if you don't, you're playing another 30 seconds of defense.
Here, shot clock violation. They could never seemingly quite get in sync. And that is by design for Joe Scott, almost like a triple option college football offense. He wants to play with the other team's pace, the other team's offensive aggression, by just giving that boa constrictor grip.
Yeah, a lot of times they say teams who can control the pace will win the game, but it also limits the possessions. And that right there is a smart, very smart strategy. A little bit of annoying, but it's a smart strategy, especially if you don't have the size or the same amount of talent as your opponent.
Acott on high, Rainbow Man. You faced him in his days at Arizona.
Yeah, I played him in Arizona. Really wasn't a scorer then, more so a defender. He was kind of young back then. Now he's the old guy. But he's improved his shot making, gotten a lot better as far as scoring the ball, more efficient. Love what I'm seeing out of Acott.
Octave lost his footing and the handle, and then a kick ball. That's going to be Bronco basketball.
It's the area he's gotten better at. He made with Acott. Really wasn't doing this when I played him at Arizona. But now, absolutely cash.
Got that three-point rate up to 39%. He buried 6 when he dropped 24 on a good St. Bonaventure team. Broncos just missed out on the big dance last year. They scheduled up a non-lead. Acott in the brief isolation gets a double and a travel. We've seen a few select doubles from Air Force. How do they hide it so well?
Because you don't know where it's coming from. I mean, they kind of come from the weak side. When they come from the weak side, then you have to react really fast because you don't see it coming. Like you said, they disguise to do a very great job.
Alley-oop, Ethan Taylor to the 6'10" in flight, Lucas Mormon. Key jab, blow by, nice leave up the lane, what a rejection, and a jump ball. Oh, well timed by Mormon.
Ethan Taylor, triple-double last game, picking it up, throw it up to the big fella there.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Broncos up 9-4 on Air Force, but what a day on Saturday for the Falcon freshman Ethan Taylor.
Man, John, I'm a really big fan of this guy right here. He's young, but he just plays so mature. A triple-double as a freshman is almost unheard of. To be a starting point guard is hard as a freshman. This guy, he's been really consistent, averaging 16 in the last 2 games. Ethan Taylor's going to be a great player for this Falcon team.
That was the first triple-double in 66 years of Air Force basketball. There had been none before Taylor, who got a rebound on the final seconds of the game on a missed shot to get the triple-double.
Man, that's one of those things where if he didn't get that rebound, I would have not been able to sleep that night. I would have been hot.
Najee Smith into the fray. Feet on high, hesitant rhythm. 3 is good for Acott.
Tough shot right there, hand in the face and everything.
So now the Broncos have scored on 5 of 6 possessions. Air Force made its first field goal try, and since then has 3 turnovers, 0 for 2 at the line, 1 for 3 from the field. What have you seen?
Well, right now, that defense has been on point. They're shutting Air Force down. But on the other end, they're just getting whatever they want. I mean, they're making tough shots. Acott with 2 threes. Dagon Hart with an open 3. They're making shots right now, and it's hard. It's too easy right now.
Deep for Vanderswag. Hits heel. Friendly fire. Keyjab's got it. Abu Keyjab, incredibly vocal in practice. The loudest player that Leon Rice has ever coached, according to the 12th-year head man. And he says that in the kindest way possible. Acott again. Oh, cautious.
A-Cod feeling it right now. 3 for 3, doesn't matter who is guarding him, he is letting it fly.
We're going to get a shoulder shrug up the floor if this keeps going. Now the Falcons, now the pressure is on them, right, to get buckets.
Yeah, you got to score right now, but this defense is not going to make it easy because they are talented, they're long, their size, nothing easy.
A.J. Walker, 7 to shoot, rejected by Smith. 5 to shoot, cuts, Cup, banker.
That's much needed right there. What you saw right there, the length, was able to get the block, but he got it back. Much needed bucket for this game, got out of control.
Had been a 15-2 run. Easy pass out of the double, grazed out of play by the leaping Vanderswag.
Emmanuel A-Cod just being unconscious right now. Don't turn your head. Don't lose him. Close out. Make sure he cannot get the shot off because right now he is feeling it in his rhythm, in his bag right now. Emmanuel A-Cod, people.
How about this? Marcus Shaver is back in. He went to the bench with 2 fouls, 2 minutes and 17 seconds into the game, and he's back in up 15-6.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put him in. I mean, that's an interesting decision right there. Most coaches would have left him on the bench because your team is playing so well.
Playground save. Shaver's got it. A-Cod hesitates. Drives, loses handle, resets. Into the bench, Air Force ball.
Man, A-Cod has to let that one fly. You're 3 for 3. You're hot. Let that one fly. Doesn't matter how you catch it. You're hot. That's a rhythm. Heat check.
Now, it's one thing that Leon Rice told us earlier today, that the rotation for his team is so clean, offensive foul off ball, they'll get Taylor, that players are now subbing themselves in and out. Like they just know, right around now is when I go in, right around now is when I come out.
Listen, I don't know if I'd ever sub myself out as a player. I want to be out there. I don't want anybody taking my minutes.
So here come the Broncos. A-Cod up the floor. Shaver, deep 3 ball. In and out, rebound Rice, loses handle, fouled. Looked like Jake Heidbreeder with his first.
Well, that's going to be a key thing in the game that we have to watch for. The Falcons must box out because they do not. The size and the offensive rebounding of the Broncos will absolutely be dominant if they do not turn around, hit a body, and keep them off the glass.
Boise State, one of the best rebounding teams, particularly offensively in the country. Oh, what a pass! The lefty leaner off, but what a dish from Shaver. Key jab to the line.
Good pass right here from Shaver. Giving the Falcons a taste of their own medicine with the cut right there.
And the first free throw in and out. Boise State is the 2nd worst free throw shooting team in America, 60%. 5 of the top 6 free throw shooting teams in program history have come under Leon Rice. This is way out of character for his teams.
But one thing he did say is at the end of the games when it matters the most, they're making their free throws and knocking them down. But 60% is absolutely horrid.
Air Force in dire need of scores. Tried to thread the needle. Ethan Taylor, I think, looking for a kick ball. What'd you see?
Like could have been a kick ball. That was a close one. Happened so fast. I didn't really get to see it.
And we do have an outstanding officiating crew. David Hall, who's worked over 30 NCAA tournaments, multiple Final Fours. Jerry Pollard, 18 straight tournaments. He worked the Final Four last year. And longtime veteran, 2nd weekend man of the tourney, Michael Irving. Backdoor pocket pick, knocked free by Walker. Taylor on the run, right down the lane, in and out. Saved by Taylor. And it's his tenacity and toughness, playing 37 minutes a game. Gives it away, though, here.
Those are the opportunities you have to create, and you have to. I forgot the word I'm looking for, but
Najee Smith, and we'll get a timeout from Joe Scott, who sees a lopsided score. 18-6, Boise State smothering Air Force. The Boise State Broncos, per Ken Pomeroy, the 15th best team in defensive efficiency in the country. They have forced Air Force into twice as many turnovers, 6, has made buckets, 3.
That's impressive. It's because of the length. I mean, when Emmanuel A-Cod is your point guard at 6'8", that can cause a lot of teams trouble. I mean, Marcus Shavers is the shortest person they put on the court. He's 6'2". Other than that, I don't think they put anybody else on the court that's under 6'5". That length right there can really bother teams.
Shaver continues to play with a couple of fouls. This is Air Force out of a called timeout. Do you think you draw up a specific play here?
Yeah, I mean, you do what you've been doing all year. Grind it out. But right now, you have to draw up something for A.J. Walker. I mean, he's averaging 17 in the last 2. That's your leading guy. Right now, he really hasn't gotten a good look up. He hit a layup, but really hasn't gotten a good jumper up. Get him a play, call something for him. Let him see the bucket go in.
Vanderswag, unimpeded. Nobody stepped up.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic of this defense. You won't see that happen too many times.
Broncos at the other end against this moving, almost gelatinous defense. They'll use some matchup. They'll use some man-to-man.
Just loves to throw the offense off balance.
Oh, key jab behind the back. And with the flush. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Great pass right there. Great vision. The awareness from key jab to know where his big fella was.
Mormon smothered by Armush. Oh, Shaver read it. One-on-one. Oh, acrobatic finish. Marcus Shaver.
Oh, Marcus Shaver is getting a little fancy on the transition one-on-one bucket. Love to see it.
Well, Coach Rice said he's still scratching the surface of how good he believes he can be, that he's such a great, pure scorer. Arm bar impeding freedom of movement.
Great pass right here from key jab. Behind the back, looking like a little Steve Nash out there. And on the other end in transition, Marcus Shaver Jr. Oh, my goodness.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
With snow on the mountains and in the stands, the blue turf of Boise State used by the softball squad. New head coach Justin Schultz, an import from the Oregon Ducks, had his women out there getting set for their season. Bronco pride high as Boise State basketball has won 9 in a row, tied for the 4th longest active winning streak in Division I men's basketball. But this is the Broncos' only home game in a tough sequence, King. They are playing 5 games in 5 states in 11 days, traveling 5,000 miles in the process, the repercussions of a COVID-jarred schedule.
Man, that sounds physically taxing. Sounds like something I would not want to do, man. I was talking to somebody the other day. It is so hard. It would be so hard to play college basketball in this era with COVID and everything. Because it's like you have to manage your social life. You really can't do too much because you don't want to miss games and get sick. Like, I mean, you just can't be 18 or 19 anymore. So I would hate to be playing college basketball right now.
Nick Jackson hits heel among the subs for Joe Scott. And a good hustle play by Jeff Mills getting time off the pine. Tap of the chin and the play call by Ethan Taylor. Set Joe Scott learned from Pete Carrill. Oh, nice look, and just a little long for Mills on the cut.
But on the flip side, you have to admire the dedication that these players have. Playing through COVID, willingness to be able to focus, lock in every single game. Despite having these COVID pauses, not knowing who you're going to play with. I mean, right now you have to be so mentally strong in order to play college basketball. So kudos to these players out there playing.
Key jab out of the corner against Taylor. 12 to shoot. Double comes and he feels it. Down the lane, try to find Shaver. And it's over and back. I thought a Falcon might have gotten a hand on that. Max Rice subs back in. Now Leon Rice's team scheduled up this year. The Broncos began the year 3-4, beat a good Utah Valley team, beat Temple, beat Ole Miss, beat Washington State, but lost to St. Bonaventure, lost to St. Louis in overtime. That's when Dagon Hart joined the starting lineup. They have not lost since. Oh, what a feed, backdoor, extra give. Taylor wanted it up the wing. Vanderswag on high, Mills, 5 to shoot. Taylor, 3 to shoot. Free throw line. Falling away, no. And it's won by Hydebreeder. What does that do to your defense?
It sucks the life out of it, honestly. I mean, you literally have to spend 25 seconds playing defense. You give up an offensive rebound. Then you have to play another 25 seconds. So you're almost playing a minute on defense right there. That right there can be so deflating.
Taylor, one to shoot, doesn't realize the time. It's a second shot clock violation for the Falcons.
That's good defense. They take away the initial action. The Falcons love to cut backdoor. Boise being able to follow them backdoor and take away what they love to do makes it tough.
So now Joe Scott subs Taylor out. That rarely happens. He plays 37 minutes a game.
I mean, Taylor's struggling right now. He's not able to get some of those passes that he's used to getting off. Not able to get to the rim as easy as he normally is, and making it tough for him.
Armish wants it, size mismatch. Shaver opposite. Off the jab step, the drive. Snaps it to the backdoor cut. Knocked out of bounds. Air Force ball. Tomorrow night, 7 Eastern. Don't miss a special edition of We Need to Talk as Leslie Visser sits down with the legendary Coach K to highlight his story, journey, and talk life after basketball. We Need to Talk with Mike Krzyzewski right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 9 turnovers for Air Force. Quite out of character for how they played in league action. They've been averaging just over 12 a game. They've got 9 already.
That's credit all to the defense of Boise State.
Oh, nice muscle move by Nick Jackson. Broncos have dominated the game. It feels like they should be up 20.
Yeah, but I mean, Air Force is just slowly sticking around, only down by 12. They're really not out this ball game. They just have to get something going on the offensive end.
Offensive foul, bit of a pull the chair move from Nick Jackson, and Kejab has his first.
Might have been a little flop right there. I don't know if it was that much contact to make him fall. Let's take a look at it. I don't know if that was enough for an offensive foul, but he sold it. Fall and yell, you can get a call.
Now Air Force up the floor. A.J. Walker, who was the point guard his first 3 years, running point here with Taylor on the bench. 5 out, feed the cutter. Off the hands of Hydebreeder, Bronco ball. And the turnovers keep piling.
You can tell that right there was an emphasis on the scouting report. I mean, Leon Rice and his team, they're literally guarding every single backdoor action, not allowing that pass because they literally thrive off that pass the Falcons do.
Kejab down the lane, somehow saved by Smith. He feels the double. Rice can't handle. Ball screen. Rice, who's been struggling with a shot, he's been more of a facilitator. 6 to shoot. Kejab twisting and falling away. In and out. Tough shot. Seeing the floor, Walker. Shapes up. On high. Triple. Got it.
Yeah, that's cash right there. A.J. Walker, you give him any bit of space, any open look. That's cash with a textbook jumper.
Well, got a little greedy there. Well played tip by Mills, and Falcons forced the giveaway. Hydebreeder denied, end line by Kejab. Jackson right at the cup, draws the foul. That'll be the first on Najee Smith.
A.J. Walker, straight bucket getter, shooting it from long range. They need a lot more of those.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. The Broncos have won 9 in a row, yet their lead sits at 9 in a game they've largely dominated. Boise State hasn't scored in over 4 minutes. And Leon Rice's team, despite owning the initial stage of the game, now finds itself in a tighter tilt against a plucky Air Force squad.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Air Force is just struggling on the offensive end. I mean, they can't really find anything because of the defense of Boise State. But on the flip side, Air Force is really playing great defense. I mean, the matchup zone is really confusing Boise, and they're not able to get some of those looks that they're used to getting.
Leon Rice talking with David Hall. His team was just entirely huddled up around the free throw line. Something that Leon Rice praised about his own squad, their defense and rebounding, and that chemistry, that it factor that's kind of organically evolved as the season's worn on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have an older team. I mean, you got veteran guys who've been there before, who know the meaning of camaraderie and being together as a unit. That's how you win on the road. That's how you win in college basketball. Older teams win.
Joe Scott is a very young team, the third most freshmen in America on his roster, 10. Only Arizona and Dayton have more. Kejab subs out, Shaver back in for Boise State. The three freshman starters for Joe Scott combined for half their minutes, 40% of their scoring. Nick Jackson, the starter all of last year, off the bench mostly this year, gets the first free throw make for the Falcons. They're now 1 of 4. So Acott had been on the pine for a long time. He and Shaver team it up. Kejab on the bench. Dagon Hart wants it in the post. Shaver comes to a stop. 3 ball. Hits iron for Dagon Hart. Track corner. No, great box by Jeffrey Mills.
And the matchup zone is so hard to play against. I remember we played against Oregon when I was at Baylor, and they did something similar. I mean, the matchup zone, you don't know if it's man or zone. So you try to run a zone play, and it doesn't work because then all of a sudden they can switch into man really quick. You try to run the man play, then it looks like they're in zone. So it confuses you as an offensive player because you don't know what spots to attack and what spots to take.
A.J. Walker on the block. I told you before the game that the Baylor versus Oregon games were hard to tell which team was which, especially when one of you was in neon.
Look, we tried to outdo each other. If I had to say so, I think we were better, though.
Walker, alley-oop look, out of bounds, hard undercut. Boise State ball.
Look, that's a foul. I don't care how you look at it. That is a foul. Let's take a look at this right here. My man got hit out the mid-air. Like, look at the little slight push right there. That's a foul.
Freedom of movement, point of emphasis, reducing physicality in the game, allowing offense to shine. Acott, the muscle drive, rejected, fouled. They'll get Nick Jackson. That's his first.
Foul the Falcons, number 22, with Nick Jackson, his first, team's fifth.
Now, fouls are a concern on the season for Air Force. Third most in the Mountain West. They get whistled 17 times a game. Acott misses. The Broncos back in action Saturday. A showdown in San Diego. They take on the Aztecs of San Diego State, 9:30 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. Aztecs seem to be the pride of the Mountain West again after their blowout of Colorado State a couple of weekends ago.
They're always good. I mean, every single year it seems like they're always either in the top 25 or right on the cusp.
The teams have combined 3 for 10 at the free throw line. The defense has been great. Catch, shoot, high breeder, no. And the board to Vanderswag. Shape it up, A.J. Walker. Shots are not dropping.
Don't lose that man, because he can get hot really fast.
Kejab back on the floor. Shaver, brief breather, jogs to the table. Armush spinning end line. Oh, nice cut. Misses point blank and ripped down by Air Force and Jackson.
That was great defense right there by Jackson. Staying vertical, not bringing his arms down, making it tough for big fella.
And a force back door. That's where so many of the turnovers have come.
Because they try to force it back door. That is literally their offense. Get the ball, cut back door. It works a lot, but right now it's not working, and that's where you're seeing the majority of their turnovers.
That's the very famous moment you'll see in the CBS Open when Joe Scott was an assistant at Princeton, and they beat the, at the time, reigning national champion UCLA in the tournament in 1996 on that backdoor cut. Shaver wide open. Misfire, hard foul. Mormon got rocked. That's going to be number 2 on Najee Smith. So the Broncos began the game 5 for 5 from the floor. They have missed 7 of 10 since.
The defense picked up from the Falcons. You love to see it, and Acott started off hot, but now he's a little quiet.
Oh, Taylor is back in, and what a feed. Mormon had the bucket before he got the ball.
I just love the poise of Ethan Taylor. I mean, every time he comes off a ball screen, plays with great pace, always keeping his eyes up, locating where the big is on the roll. Just love the poise of the freshman.
8-0 run for Air Force. The Falcons were getting obliterated. They've drawn within a couple of baskets. Rice picks it up. Smith, the dump to Armush. Right into his man. And a foul on the floor. That'll be Mormon with his first. So the Broncos haven't scored, King, in almost 7 minutes. What do you want to see on this look?
Right here, I want Marcus Shavers. I want to get him an easy bucket in the pick and roll. Try to get him going. I mean, he really hasn't gotten going other than the nice layup we saw. But I want Marcus Shavers to get more looks and get more aggressive.
Key jab lost handle and a foul. And route to the cup. That's Highbreeder. And that's going to be bonus. 7 fouls on the Falcons. Highbreeder with his second.
Highbreeder with his second. Teams 7. Boise State now in the bonus.
So bonus free throws arrive, but for the second worst free throw shooting team in the country. The give and take. This has been a very Zen-like balanced game.
Man, honestly, if I'm in Air Force, I'm not even mad about being in the bonus. So every time I foul you, that takes away a possession, and you only shooting 60%.
Late sub is Smith with 2 fouls out. Dagon Hart in. Kejab, the second most free throw attempts in the Mountain West. He gets to the line a lot. This year, though, shooting 62%, had been at 72 the prior 2 years combined. And another miss. Leon Rice, though, told us, you said it, they make him at the end of games when they need him.
I guess that's all that matters, huh?
And we get a foul off ball, and it looks like Taylor, that would be his second. No, excuse me, that's Dagon Hart with Boise State. So bonus for Air Force, and Octave to shoot. Well, Octave 59% this year. It's around his career number as well. And he makes. At the conclusion of this opening half, be sure to join Evan Washburn, my man Chris Walker, Shelvin back, Gary Parrish. It'll be AT&T at the half. And I want to know, I haven't seen yet, I don't have a return monitor. Does Chris Walker have his pocket square game going tonight? I hope he does. There's another free throw miss, a little flat. Here's Shaver. You want to see him get ignited.
Yeah, I want to see him become more aggressive right here. I mean, they need him. His leading scorer, his team needs him to get going. And like Coach Rice said, we really haven't seen how good this kid can be.
And nobody knows who has possession here. Michael Irving was our end line official. He has to signal jump ball. He didn't see it. Leon Rice is furious, believing it's Bronco ball, but the arrow's going to give it to the Falcons. He's asking, how does nobody see who had last touch? But the angle's not there. It's too low, according to David Hall.
Let's look at it right here.
Yeah. So they got to go to the arrow.
They got to go to the arrow. But from that angle, it looked like a Bronco hit it out.
Well, the margin is 5. It's a number that Leon Rice has long considered lucky. Often has 5 pieces of gum in his pocket while he coaches. Does a lot of things in 5s.
Very superstitious.
Under 4. And what defense. Dagon Hart taking it away from Octave. Key jab other end. Right down the lane with the fury.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, good defense. Get it out on the break and just give it to Key jab, because this is what he does. Rise up. Oh my goodness, catch a body. Abu Key jab. Man, we have to take a look at this dunk again, because I wasn't expecting it, but Abu Key jab. Why does he get to the free throw line so much? Because he takes it to the rim like this.
He dunked on the 6'10" Lucas Mormon, who, by the way, was called for a foul. That's an and one and then some. He's going to go to the line with a chance for a 3-point play. that brought about tremendous energy from his bench.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting him to rise up like that, but he did it, and I'm here for it because that got the energy going.
So Abu Kijab, transfer from Oregon, born in the same town in Sudan as Bol Bol, who these days is still with the Nuggets after that trade to the Pistons fell through. Now at the line. And another miss. The Broncos are 2 of 8 at the line. Air Force is 2 of 6 at the line. Boise State led this game by 14. The Falcons hanging tough. Mormon with 2 fouls down the lane, loses handle, resets, slapped free and stolen by Shaver. On good defense to body and out of bounds. A what recovery by Ethan Taylor. This young man plays the 11th most minutes in the country and still gives hustle like that all game.
That's called being in shape for real, for real. Trust me, I know. That's not easy to play 30-plus minutes a night.
Oh, what a screen from Morgan. He blew up Kijab there. And that got Walker in the eye. He is wincing. That left eye is nearly closed.
Got to create, get low.
5 to shoot. Mormon up top. Rainbow 3. It's a 4-point game.
Look, don't get it twisted. This Air Force team is young, but they beat Utah State, who is very good. They lost to Colorado State by 8, lost to Nevada by 7. This team will stay in this ball game because they are good.
It's a 12-2 run. The Broncos have turned it over 6 times in the last 8.5 minutes. Nasty crossover. Shaver falling down and 1.
That's the Marcus Shaver I like to see. Hitting him with the AI cross right here. Little nasty hesitation and 1 falling back. That's what I want to see from Marcus Shaver.
Foul to Walker, his first. Shaver spinning the ball. Sinks the free throw. He has erupted in league play, averaging nearly 22 a game. The Broncos stand atop the Mountain West at 3-0. Taylor nearly traveled there. Floor looked a touch slippery. And now the foul on Shaver, defending Vanderswag. That is 3 on Shaver. He's got to sit now, right?
Well, I mean, I'm just surprised the ref even called that. That's such a touch foul that had no impact on the play. That's a ticky-tack. I don't know if I would have called that if I was a ref, especially on a player like Shaver. Now he has to go sit on the bench. Could be a game-changing scenario right there, game-changing play for the Falcons. But that's just a touch foul. No need to call that.
Because not only is he tethered to the bench for the rest of the half, he's got 3 to begin the second.
Yeah, so now you have to be careful with him. But, I mean, he's older, he's mature. He knows what to give up, what not to give up. I think he can handle it.
Front end miss. Dagon Hart, other end, off target. Smith, who had subbed in, taps it forward to Mills. Both teams have been dreadful at the line. A combined 5 for 16. 2 minutes. Vanderswag a little long. Mormon cleans it up. Deep looking 3. Vanderswag, swish.
I thought he was going to touch the ceiling with that shot.
He entered this year a career 19% outside shooter. He's at nearly 40 this season. Kijab doubled on the end line opposite Dagon Hart. Slides closer, leans into contact and draws the foul. And that'll be Taylor. That'll be 2 on Taylor.
Man, look how high this guy shot the ball right there. Camden Vanderswag shooting it to the ceiling.
So Vanderswag the triple. Now Dagon Hart at the line. And he rattles it in. Walker back in. Got to think Taylor is going to sit with 2 fouls. Probably for the last 90 seconds. And that means they go back to Walker as the point guard. How does that change then?
Well, A.J. Walker is more of a scorer this year, and that's why I like him and Taylor, because Taylor's more facilitator and can get Walker into his spots. When Walker's running the one, he's more so worried about facilitating than scoring. So I like Taylor in the game with Walker, but Walker at the one, he still has to look to be aggressive and try to get his buckets.
More aggressive defense here from Boise State. Walker, the jagged dribble.
Look back at him. He has a mismatch.
Vanderswag has no room. Force feed out of bounds. 7 to shoot. That's a tough point of entry.
It's a very tough point of entry, but right there, A.J. Walker had the center on him. Get it back to him. Allow him to go create on the center because the center does not move that well laterally. So let A.J. Walker, your best scorer, go get a bucket on the center.
7 to shoot. Highbreeder barely gets it in. There's Walker. Ball screen. On a switch, Armush. Vanderswag, deep 3, yes! Oh, it's a tough shot.
Big shot right there. Vanderswag feeling it.
It is a 3-point game. The Broncos led by 14 in what had shaped up to be a blowout. 40 seconds. Smith, Dagon Hart had the seal. A little long and a hold, a foul. And they're going to get Mormon with his third.
It's the right call right there. He held him. Now, it was a horrible entry pass, but he did get held. That's definitely a foul. Right call right there.
And Mormon, a freshman at 6'10". They also added fellow freshman Ryan Corner at 6'11". Joe Scott said he needed to get bigger. It's something you asked him about earlier today. Armush at the line, double bonus. Man, the free throw shooting has been putrid.
Yeah, that's an area you have to get better at. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, when it comes to late game situations, and the coach talking about they make their free throws in late game situations, well, if they made their free throws earlier in the game, they probably wouldn't be in those late game situations where they have to make the free throws.
Free throw miss again. So here come the Falcons, and you got to think they're holding, right?
Yeah, you definitely go get the last shot. Drive something for A.J. Walker. Get the ball side to side. Get it moving. Get key jab off of Walker right now because he at that size right there, he struggled with it. But get him in a situation where he can create because he's your guy.
Nick Jackson's the undersized center with Mormon on the bench. He screens for Highbreeder. 4 seconds. Off the head fake. Jackson puts it up off the front lip. A blocking foul. And the irony of this, Jackson to the line with the timer turned off and a chance to make it a 1-point game.
I love this. Nick Jackson's more perimeter player. Armush stepping out, doesn't move that well laterally, so Jackson attacks him. I love that right there.
Foul charge to Dagon Hart is his second. Double bonus, so 2 shots for Jackson. Air Force is 2 of 7 at the line. That kind of day. Octave in. Highbreeder with 2 fouls out. 3.9 seconds, plenty of time.
Plenty of time. But don't force it right here because a lot of times people try to force it and that's when bad things happen. You get an offensive foul or something cheap.
Another miss. Armush, 3 seconds. Max Rice, the heave from midcourt. Hits iron. And it's a 3-point game. From down 14, the fury of the Falcons to draw within a possession. At the break, Boise State 29, Air Force 26. After this break, stay tuned. It'll be AT&T at the half. We got a tight one in Boise. Back in Boise, our game summary brought to you by AT&T 5G. What stands out to you, King?
Right here, the turnovers. I mean, 13 and 9, that's high. I mean, 13, Air Force only averages 12 a game, and 13 already in the first half. That in bench points, so.
How did the Falcons get back into this game? It was a 14-point lead for Boise State. We were on our way to blowout city, and the Falcons roared to life.
Well, it did in multiple ways. I mean, the defense, the matchup zone really got to Boise. It took away what Boise did best. Marcus Shavers, Emmanuel Acott, completely took him out the ball game. Then on top of that, on the offensive side, they made threes in the last 8 minutes. That's how they fought back.
Let's take a look at that three-point shooting. 1 of 7 to begin the game, then 3 for their final 3 before halftime.
Yeah, this guy right here, Vander Schwab, is a key reason for that. Coming down late to the shot clock. Has the guts to take big shots, and not just take them, but make them.
You know, it's curious. You and I were speaking a bit before we came back on the air. Emmanuel Acott was raining down threes with some hesitation, but getting buckets in the early stage. He is still the leading scorer in this game with 9 points, and yet he felt eerily silent and wasn't on the floor for extended stretches on the back half of the opening stanza.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he just completely went ghost. I mean, he started off the game so hot, and then where's Acott at?
Now, take a look. Tilt down on Acott. Look at his right knee.
That might be
He's wearing a brace now on that right knee.
And that might be the reason why, because if I was him, the way he started, I'd have came out firing even more. I would have probably got up 6 or 7 threes in the first half.
And he did have a slight hiccup, a hitch in his shot after he had hit 3 triples in the early stage. He was open on a try that you wanted him to take at the top of the key, and he looked a little awkward as he elevated.
It could definitely be mental for him. I mean, that plays a role into it. When you're a basketball player and you're dealing with trying to battle an injury, it can definitely be a mental block.
Now, he's a super talented young man. Against SMU in the NIT last year, had 17, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, shades of what Chandler Hutchison did. Would go on to be a first-round pick, was the Mountain West Player of the Year for the Broncos in 2018.
I think the thing that I'm most impressed with as I watch film on Acott is his reads off of pick and roll. I mean, yeah, he can score, but at 6'8", the ability to be able to read a defense and pass like that, that's NBA-level talent.
Dagon Hart on the cut, misses the bucket. Max Rice starting to begin the second half. So Shaver with 3 fouls begins the second half on the bench.
Smart move right there. I mean, you don't want him to pick up the 4th within the first 3 minutes, and you have to sit him for the whole second half. Great decision right there.
Air Force going with its 5. Same 5 that started the first 11 games for Air Force. Joe Scott had used 4 lineups in 4 games entering today due to a variety of health issues. That runner off for Octave. Rice shaping up in transition. Acott feeds his big man, Armush, against a man with 3 fouls, and that's a 4th on Lucas Mormon.
Yeah, right there, Armish just has the size advantage. Probably has about a good 30, 40 pounds right here. Just getting to wherever he wants to get. Big bully down there. Mormon had no chance.
So Mormon with 4 fouls. He's their big. Armush, another free throw miss. Broncos are 5 of 14. The Falcons get smaller. With Mormon out, Nick Jackson in, who played last year, started all 25 games as an undersized center. This is a small Falcons team.
Yeah, small, but you also have to take into account the Broncos have to guard them too.
Right.
So with Nick Jackson's ability to step out, shoot the 3, that brings Armish out. So now Armish is not the same rim protector, and he has to guard Nick Jackson on the perimeter.
Armish remains buried underneath, now comes out to face Jackson on the perimeter. A.J. Walker, zigzag dribble, floats it up to Jackson. Oh, you called it.
A.J. Walker, great pace off the ball screen, able to find the cutting Nick Jackson.
The only Air Force lead was 2-0. Dagon Hart hits heel, and here come the Falcons with a chance to tie or lead. They were down 14 in the game's infancy. Hyde Breeder to Taylor, snaps to Jackson. 12 to shoot. Octave, Jackson for the lead, yes!
It makes it so tough when you have a big that can pick and pop instead of roll all the time. And that's the situation. Put Armish in the ball screen, make him make a decision.
The first lead for Air Force since it was 2-zip, 19 seconds in. Acott closed out quickly by Taylor on a switch. He's got Jackson. That means Armish has Taylor.
Gotta look inside, gotta feed the big fella.
Rice, 5 to shoot, up and under, whistle. Highbreeder thought a travel. That's going to be 3 on Highbreeder.
Watch the pick and pop on the other end. Right here, Nick Jackson, the ball screen. It's super tough because Armish thinks the guy's going to drive, has to help. Doesn't help. Now, Nick Jackson, wide open 3.
So Max Rice to the line. 82% shooter this year. He's one of their great free throw shooters, and he calmly connects. A couple of subs for the Broncos. That includes Shaver in. He had 3 fouls in the first. Najee Smith is also in. He had 2 fouls in the first.
Look, I think Akot is hurt. I think his knee is really bothering him.
Back in to Smooth for Rice. (32-31) Broncos back in front. Air Force is hung tough in all of their league games. A team that toiled a season ago to go 5-20. Loaded with freshmen. Offensive foul.
So this is a very, very smart decision from Leon Rice. Realizing that Nick Jackson is a faster player than Armish, and Armish was struggling to guard him. So what do? You put Dagon Hart at the 5. Allow him to guard Nick Jackson because they're similar sizes. Then there's no more mismatches on the floor for Boise.
Dagon Hart's matched up with him at the other end. He wants the ball in that right block. Shaver stepping back. Off target. Jackson the box and board. Taylor coming off the first triple-double in Air Force history. Highbreeder's been quiet. Feeds up top. Jackson hesitated. Walker. Oh, Jackson! And that was not the cleanest landing, but what a launch.
Wow, you see the athleticism right there from Jackson. Great follow-up.
It feels like these teams are establishing their field once more. Key jab on the drive, tied up, foul. Aggressive defense from Octave, his second.
Look at the tip in on the other end, though. Nick Jackson showing that he can shoot the 3, but also showing his athleticism a little bit.
So now 2 shots for Key jab, who was 1 of 4 at the line tonight. Abu Key-Jab, in his home debut as a Bronco, dropped 33 on Cal State Northridge. He is an explosive scorer, and he tacks on 2 more.
Such a physical driver. And if you don't fall and take a charge, that man is going through you. He's aggressive, tough. Have to put a body in front of him, because if not, you have no chance.
Taylor trying to post up against Rice, gets fed. Nobody collapses on help, and he turns it over. Dagon Hart from his backside. Key-Jab. The Bronco bench going bonkers. Rice defending. Taylor gets a stride. Nice speed. And Jackson draws the foul. That's 4 on Shaver. He's got 4 with 15:27 to go.
Yeah, Shaver should have gave that one up right there. This is what happens when you run a ball screen to perfection. My man comes off the ball screen right here. And now, the defending big, takes up, steps hip. So now the big rolls. The guy in the corner over here, has to choose, take the man in the corner or take the big rolling. He decided late, so he stepped over, got the block and foul because he was unsure.
And that means Marcus Shaver has 4 fouls 4 minutes into the second half. Nick Jackson entered after Moorman picked up his 4th for Air Force, and Jackson has put up 7 points and a couple of boards, while Shaver has only fouled out once since his freshman year. How long does he sit? How do you handle him?
Honestly, I'm not putting him in until probably under 8. I mean, he has to sit at this media, sit the next media. Probably under 8 is when I'm putting him back in. But Shaver's old enough. He has to realize that in situations like that, you have to be better. I mean, 3 fouls, you can give up 2 points because those 2 points that you give up are not worth as much as the 15 to 20 that you can score.
So here's Akot up the floor, who emerged wearing that brace on his right knee here in the second. Key jab, jump give, Dagon Hart. Begging for it on the block. Smith showing off the moves. Over Jackson, no. Tipped by Jackson, up the Granite lane. Rice, free throw line. Good. 4 big points for Max Rice in the second half.
Yeah, Max Rice stepping up, bringing that energy off the bench. That's what you got to ask.
He was an electric shooter the last couple of seasons. His shooting has been slight this year, hampered some by hip surgery and a broken foot at the late stage of last year. Walker guarded by the larger Dagon Hart. Down the lane, off balance, Octave forced a bad shot.
You can tell Octave still isn't the same Octave he was at the beginning of the season. I mean, he's had a lot of drives where he could have easily finished, but it's missed it. It seems like his rhythm is off for just a little bit.
Offensive there on Dagon Hart. That'll be his third. Octave came off the bench Saturday against Nevada. Had missed the prior 2 games. Octave's scoring has leapt a lot year over year from last season to this. But to your point, it's been staggered. You know, both of these teams went long spans of time without playing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice anticipation. Dagon Hart. 2-hand jab. Octave felt the double. Jackson denied in the corner. Tough pass. Stolen by Akot. Oh, nice feed, Rice.
Good pass right there. Emmanuel Akot putting on the goggles.
It was his court vision praised by his head man as Air Force calls timeout.
This is what you expect out of a Boise State squad, letting their defense turn into easy offense, because these guys absolutely will put the clamps on you. And Emmanuel Akot, 6'8" PG, putting the binoculars on, finding people.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. The Boise State Broncos have won 9 in a row, tied for the 4th longest active win streak in Division I men's basketball. Tonight, they blew a 14-point lead, trailed against Air Force in the early stage of this half, but 6 unanswered, fresh off a fresh pass from Emmanuel Akot, and they're back up 7.
Well, it starts with the defense. I mean, that's what we expect out of a Boise State team. Their length starting to really affect Air Force, and they're creating turnover after turnover, creating that havoc.
Air Force's best and biggest big that gets regular time, Lucas Moorman on the bench with 4 fouls. Boise State's leading scorer, Marcus Shaver on the bench, 4 fouls. Nick Jackson off the pine puts it home.
Nick Jackson has played very, very well tonight. Had 11 points last game, picking up where he left off and looking real confident out there.
Oh, Dagon Hart. Nice subtle fake, little baby Euro there.
A little baby Euro, but that's way too easy.
And a whistle off ball. Looks like they'll get Max Rice underneath. That'll be his second. It would seem fitting if this came down to free throws at the end.
Yeah, it definitely would, but with all the misses we've seen, man, we can build a house with all these bricks.
The defensive intensity on both sides has been stellar. These young men are playing incredibly hard. And a 5-second violation. Boise State's defense has flummoxed Joe Scott's offense to 2 shot clock violations and now a 5-second entry violation.
It's the length, but right there, I think my guy on Air Force got fouled. I mean, he fell pretty hard. I think that's a foul.
Key jab travels.
Yeah, you travel. You travel.
So you were on it when Jackson's opportunity arrived with the fouls piling up on Moorman. You saw a mismatch. He has 11 points for Air Force, all of their 11 this half.
Jackson's playing very well. I mean, he's looking very confident out there. That's all he needs is opportunity, because when he gets it, he definitely produces.
Jackson battling key jab. That's getting intensely physical. Mills picks it up. Jackson hand signals to Taylor on a switch. Taylor against Smith, 5 to shoot. No look corner, Mills flat, and key jab has it. Bronco ball. Acott, key jab, bodied up and fouled by Walker.
And key jab, when he gets the ball, he is on go 100 miles per hour, coming at you like a running back. Your best bet is to slide over and take the charge.
And that's 2 on Walker. Crowd wanted continuation, but clearly was and rightfully called on the floor. Smith up top to Rice. It's been more facilitator this season. Up fake. No look to Acott. 3 ball. A team high 12 for Acott. And a foul on high. Najee Smith's got 3.
Emmanuel Acott got hot in the beginning. Still hot. That man is on fire.
What have we seen from the opportunistic Broncos?
The length is on full display. Primarily, with Shaver out, everybody on the court is over 6'5". Getting the passing lanes. The defense leading to easy offense. These guys right here, you can't see anything with the length and the wingspans.
Broncos have hit on their last 5 from the field. Emmanuel Acott had 9 points in the early stage of the game as the Bronco lead ballooned to 14. But he was on the bench for much of the back half of the first. They saw a deficit in the early stage of the second, and Acott has sprung to life in so many ways this half.
Down 10. Armush is back in the game. Let's see if Air Force can pick on him and get back in this ball game.
Entry to Jackson, defended by Armush. Hydebreeder barely kept his balance. Pop to the face for Mills. Jackson screens and gets fed. Jackson wants it against Acott. 6 to shoot. Walker 4 to shoot. Walker 2 to shoot. Air ball possession exchange before the shot clock violation.
I'd like to see them get the ball back to Taylor on that switch with Armush out there on the perimeter.
Moorman is ready to sub in with 4 fouls for Air Force. Armush draws a foul. Nick Jackson, that'll be his 3rd.
Yeah, I don't know about that one right there.
So there's Moorman lying in wait alongside Camden Vanderswag. Moorman picked up his 4th at the 18:54 mark. He is their best true big at 6'10", a freshman. And Armush misses. You like this, Moorman coming in here?
I would have stuck with Nick Jackson, especially with Armush out there. I guess the reason is Moorman is a bigger body, can maybe defend Armush down low because they might try to attack Nick Jackson. But on the other end, I feel like Nick Jackson just provides such of a mismatch for Armush. Now, honestly, if you keep fouling Armush, he's not going to make his free throws. He hasn't made his free throws so far. So I think I would have went with Nick Jackson.
Armush 1 of 6 at the line, has struggled all season. The Falcons need buckets. Vanderswag. Taylor's been held in check most of the game. 5 to shoot. That's by design. Hybreeder to Mormon. And then a reach in. After Dagon Hart had the chin and spin, he draws the reach.
See, I think that's the area where Nick Jackson would have finished that. I think Nick Jackson is getting 2 points, walking away with the bucket.
So the foul to Mills, his first. Bonus is here. It's now 7 on Air Force. So Dagon Hart, who has been the shining light, he is 3 of 4 at the line. The rest of the team has gone 7 of 17. Freshman out of Spokane, Washington. Cans the first. Against Washington State, he dropped 11, 9 in the second half. Hit a couple of free throws in the final few minutes that gave the Broncos the lead for good in their takedown of a traditional Power 5 conference team. And he has a dozen to tie for the team lead tonight. Heavy motion. Hybreeder, aggressive drive, and one.
Great take right there by Hybreeder.
That'll be Max Rice's third foul.
Realized the Rice was too high. There was no help side on the back end. Easy 2 points for Hybreeder. Good drive.
And one free throw is good. The Hybreeder really shined in the Falcons' win against a good Utah State team. He dropped 14 in that game.
And he's a great shooter, great player. Confident freshman is what he is. All these freshmen that step on the court for the Falcons are very confident. And they have the right to be because they've earned it.
And Mills ties up key jab, will get a jump. So the Falcons have the arrow and the ball. But now the methodical nature of Joe Scott's offense. There's a lot of time left. 9-point game. At some point, their style of play kind of works against them if they're down multiple possessions, right?
Yeah, you're 100% right. But right now, 10 minutes to go, 3-possession ball game. I feel like they can still play their same style. Now, as the time slowly goes down, yeah, you have to speed it up a little bit. But for right now, they continue to play their style. They just have to get stops on the other end.
Hybreeder draws another foul on the floor with an aggressive drive. That's a baby-faced young man who is going at it hard.
And my man looks like he's about to go to prom next week.
And he has been clutch out of Floyd's Knobs, Indiana. Foul went on Armish. That'll be his first. So now 6 fouls on the Broncos. They inputted the foul to Armish, and that's under debate right now. We're going to take a look and confirm who should have the foul. And it does go to Armish.
Yeah, there's no debate right there. Definitely on Armish.
The Falcons can hit a shot. Mormon. Vanderswag, 9 to shoot. Taylor sees a seam, right at the shot blocker. Armish swats it free. Power play for the Broncos, so 5 on 4. Rice, the trail, 3, in and out. Dagon
Must block out right now to the Falcons because you do not have the size advantage. If you don't block out, bad things happen like that.
And that foul went to Hybreeder, so he's got 4. Dagon Hart, 15 points. The freshman leading the way as the Broncos look for a 10th straight win. Walker at the table, ready to sub in for Air Force. Mills. Help from Dagon Hart, nearly knocked it free. Taylor off a low bound, pinned by Aycock. 5 to shoot. Mills twisting, falling away, in and out. Loose on the deck. What fight from Mormon. And out of bounds. Bronco ball.
The key jab right there was so impressive on that drive. Stayed in front of his man, cut him off with his body. Great contest right here. Key jab, the way he plays so hard, you just have to respect it. So tough. The leader, the fighter. Key jab is just great basketball player.
Broncos call timeout. We'll take one too. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. The freshman Tyson Dagon Hart has been sensational. 15 points, 3 rebounds, outstanding at the stripe, and he's going to get some help. His Bronco team has hit 6 of 7 from the field. The lead back up to 12, and back in the game, King, is Marcus Shaver with 8:52 left. He's got 4 fouls.
He just has to be smart. I mean, you're a senior. Coach trusts him.
Shaver gets a touch, has been on the bench since the 15:27 mark. Armish. And the foul.
Oh, no, that's horrible. That's not a, no, that's horrible. Normally the rule is you get 1 bump and the second one you have to fall. This time he fell on the first one, and this really wasn't even that much contact right here. No, that's horrible. We sold it though, but that's can't call that. That makes the post play soft. Can't do that.
Falcons at the other end. Vanderswag. Mormon's got a mismatch down low against Rice. Comes out to defend on Taylor. Taylor to Mormon. Oh, and Rice is hurt. He is limping dramatically. No pressure on that right foot. Mills slices to the rim and in. And Leon Rice pointing to his son on the floor. Rice was hampered by a broken bone in his foot that he played through in the late stage of last year. And he is putting no weight on that right foot right now.
Let's see what happened. Oh, he came down on it. Man, you hate to see injuries, but I hope he's okay.
So Rice out, and Kejab will come back in. No, it looks like Najee Smith. So both are in. Armish out, Rice with a limp. Athletic trainer Adam Yetter tends to him. Broncos have been hot offensively. Shaver wants it. Shaver only has 5 points tonight. He's their leading scorer on the season. Faked a pass.
So explosive off the drive and the finish. Great take, great read off the ball screen.
And now you can feel the drip of that clock impacting Air Force.
They have to speed it up just a little bit right now because time is of the essence.
Mormon begging for the ball. Bad feed out of bounds.
Marcus Shavers been in foul trouble all game, but when he's in the game, he makes things happen.
King, take us through how the Falcons fly.
This is where they're at their best right now. When this guy comes up, creates all the space on the floor, and now Highbreeder has a wide open lane because he lifts the big. So now that the big is lifted, wide open lane, nobody down here, easy layup. That's where they're at their best, when the space, when the big is drawn away from the basket.
Now Highbreeder's got 4 fouls. He had been on the bench when we broke away. We also saw Jackson on the bench. Nick Jackson has 11 of Air Force's 16 points in the second half, but he's been on the bench since the 11:08 mark. And it looks like neither is on the floor here. Dagon Hart has been sensational for Boise State. 15 points. Well, now Jackson and Hydebreeder are at the table. We'll get a foul on the end line on the Shaver drive. So here's Joe Scott inserting both Jackson and Hydebreeder with 7 minutes to go.
I like this right now.
Now that foul went to Mormon. That means he is fouled out.
Oh.
Now Jackson was coming in anyway, you would assume, for Mormon.
Yeah.
They haven't played together all that much tonight, but Mormon's done.
But luckily, Nick Jackson's been playing so well tonight.
You think this makes them better in this matchup?
I do right now. I think Nick Jackson is the more mobile big. I think he's finishing better than Mormon was, so I like Nick Jackson in the game for the Falcons.
Shaver sinks. Dagon Hart's got 15 for Boise State. Acott a dozen. Jackson with 14 to lead the way for Air Force. 11 this half. In and out. And there's the board to Vanderswald. This is just 1 point off from the worst deficit of the game for the Falcons, who roared back from down 14 to take a brief lead early this half. Vanderswald, spin move. Walker. Down the lane. Bucket.
Good pace right there. A.J. Walker plays with such good pace. Not sped up, not trying to go too fast, but able to read the defense and let the defense shake up to what he wants.
Acott, Taylor on the switch. Shaver. Hydebreeder with 4 fouls defends. Ball screen on a switch. Acott. And Jackson has it. Building's got a bit silent. And they are working clock.
They are. That's what they do. They love to.
Oh, nice pass. And Vanderswald just off.
Those are the ones you have to finish, especially in a game like this. Down by double digits with less than 6 minutes to go, you have to finish those.
Dagon Hart wins it. Feeds Smith. Oh, denied by Taylor. And Smith is slow to get up. 5 on 4 for the Falcons. Smith sprinting down the floor. And they caught the steal on his backside to Dagon Hart.
That's a freshman mistake right there. You had the numbers 5 on 4. You have to create. You have to go take advantage of your opportunities you get, especially when you're down by 11 and the way you play so slow. You must create on those advantages. Freshman mistake.
Falcons a season worst 20 turnovers tonight. Dagon Hart isolating Jackson. 17 for Tyson Dagon Hart.
Definitely rose to the occasion. Dagon Hart stepping up, playing very well tonight.
Jackson against Dagon Hart other end. Muscles him inside. Chips it home. And a timeout from Joe Scott at Air Force. They'll have 1 left. 4:38 to go in regulation. Back to 11.
And we keep calling his name tonight, but there's a reason why. Tyson Dagon Hart. Look at the poise in the post right here. A freshman, but never rattled. Stepping up to the plate. Getting it done for the Broncos.
You know, tonight, one of the subplots is Dagon Hart and Ethan Taylor of Air Force are probably the front runners right now for Freshman of the Year in the Mountain West.
That's a pretty good observation. Now, right now, I might have to give it to Dagon Hart, just the way he's been able to come out and lead this team to a 10-game winning streak, because you have to give it to the team that wins.
No look Shaver. Smith jump give. Acott wanted it. Releases. And Jackson has it. Knocked free. Saved by Walker. Air Force. 1 timeout left. Hydebreeder. Oh, what contact. And I'm not sure who got that worse. Key jab is noticeably rattled and staggered. And Jackson is down. Here is the Old Trapper Beef Jerky Player of the Game, the best showing in conference play for Tyson Dagon Hart.
Dagon Hart just makes everybody around him better since he's been inserted in the starting lineup. They win ball games, and this is why. Because he can do it all. Plays defense, rebounds, can score, can step out, shoot the three. What can't Dagon Hart do as a freshman?
He gets it all done.
F1 on 24, Boise. They'll shoot free throws Air Force Academy, get the ball out of bounds. 24 went right through it with a forearm.
We get word from official David Hall. This has been called a flagrant one on Abu Kijab. You agree?
110%. My man came through that like a running back or a linebacker. That is definitely a flagrant foul.
A flagrant one versus flagrant two. The flagrant one not as egregious, not with the same level of ill intent. Does not mean any form of disqualification, but free throws pending here for Air Force. It'll be Jackson at the line. And if the Falcons can get back in this game, got to find points wherever they can get them. Tonight they are 5 of 12 at the free throw line. Jackson himself 3 of 6. He does have a team high 16 points. And he converts. Now the Falcons are without Lucas Mormon. He is fouled out. The Broncos' Marcus Shaver has been playing with 4 fouls. In and out. Now Mormon on the bench. He cannot return. Octave wearing 0 can. It's Falcon ball. There's that length you're talking about with Acott fronting the inbound there. He's already forced 1 5-second violation tonight. The feed to Taylor. Oh, the inbounder right underneath.
Down by 8 with 3 minutes to go. Let's see how that flagrant foul will come into play, because normally those can be big momentum shifters.
Broncos had been hot. It's now the Falcons who have hit 4 or 5 from the floor. Shaver. The crowd eerily silent. 5 seconds. Acott spin to face. 3 seconds. Contested off heel. Smith perfectly timed. Drop step and the putback. No. A foul.
Right now they're undersized, so they have to block out. You have to pay attention to the offensive glass. Find somebody, put a body on somebody, and keep Boise off the glass. But this right here just can't happen.
Well, the foul to Taylor, his 3rd. So now Najee Smith at the line. Leon Rice said they get their free throws, late game situation, a misfire there. Air Force is out rebounding Boise State. Second free throw good. Air Force team has been suspect rebounding wise, one of the worst in the country last year. Better this season, but still 326th in the country in rebound margin. They're hanging on the boards with the Broncos. Jackson wants it against Acott. Dagon Hart denies. Walker resets down the lane. Yes.
Such a tough finish right there.
It's a 7-point game, King.
7-point game. This Air Force team never, ever dies. They are tough. They are relentless. They are resilient.
Somewhere the St. Joe's Hawk is asking about copyright infringement. Shaver in and out. They're both birds, right? High breeder. Shaver hanging with him. Vanderswag spinning. Tough pass out of bounds. Falcon ball.
This is a big possession right here. This bucket could really determine if Air Force will get back in this game or if Boise will continue to extend the lead.
Taylor snaps it off to Jackson. Hybreeder's been an aggressive driver. Jackson picks it up, feeds Hybreeder, reverse rejected. Key jab out of nowhere.
Key jab, being that relentless defender, so tough, so athletic, and showing a great display of just his defensive prowess right there.
Broncos haven't hit a field goal in over 3 minutes. Dagon Hart wants it. He gets fed. Over Jackson. Rejected. Out of bounds. Air Force ball.
Let's go back to the defense on the other end by Key jab. Great pass right here by Jackson. But no, sir, not in my house. Going to get it off the glass. Great play.
This has been an intensely physical defensive game. The effort level sensational on each side. No look. Taylor, deep three.
Oh, my.
What a shot.
That's a big shot. The freshman stepping up right now. He might be young, but his game isn't.
Timeout, Air Force.
Ethan Taylor shooting it from deep. Get his team back in.
Coming up next, our college hoops triple header concludes another Mountain West matchup. Fresno State, Utah State, tip at 11:10 Eastern Time. Watch all the action right here on CBS Sports Network. We have a tight one in Boise. Joe Scott's Falcons have not known a lead all that much tonight. In fact, they've only led for a total of 45 seconds. Boise State, one of the hottest teams in America, looking for a 10th straight win, has led for almost 38 minutes. But out of an Air Force timeout, the Falcons will have none left. Dagon Hart and company have seen a lead that swelled to 14, cut once again now to 4.
They're just so tough, this Air Force team. I told you, don't sleep on them because these guys never die. They
Max Rice is back on the floor.
Oh, that's a great sign for Boise because he played a big role in getting this team separated. It looks like he's still hobbling just a little bit. It looks like he's really injured, but he's a great player and he played a pivotal role in extending this lead for Boise.
We approach 1 minute. The Broncos have got eerily quiet. No field goal makes in almost 4 minutes.
This is a big defensive possession. You must get a stop or must finish it with a rebound.
Giving Air Force a taste of its own medicine deep in the clock. Shaver in the lane, 4 to shoot. Off, loose ball, key jab. And a shot clock violation first, right? Yes! Shot clock violation. Falcon ball, 43 seconds.
Great defensive possession right here. Great contest. Almost offensive rebound, but Air Force got away with one. Must score quick right here.
Looks like Leon Rice going defense, offense. Smith in, Rice out, his son. Taylor into a double, opposite corner. Walker, up fake, snaps it to Taylor. Taylor probing dribble, underneath, with no angle. Oh, what a tough shot.
You have to foul right here if you're Air Force.
25 seconds, but Hybreeder's got 4. And it's Vanderswag who comes, no call.
Foul, key jab right there.
Joe Scott screaming foul, and it finally comes from Jackson, one of their better scorers and facilitators, his 4th. Vanderswag should have given the foul. He's got 1. And now to the line. Leon Rice said he loves key jab shot, even though his free throw shooting is down. And he said his team, second worst in the country, free throw shooting on the season, is money in the big moments.
But back to my original point from earlier. Had they made their free throws earlier in the game, they wouldn't even be in this scenario.
He hits the first, and Joe Scott knows that a lot of seconds were wasted there.
A lot. Now he makes it, must get the first available. Don't necessarily need a 3.
17-point Air Force has no timeouts. Leon Rice calls his penultimate timeout.
60 seconds timeout.
So a 2-possession game, the final 18 seconds after this. 60-56, Boise State. Broncos with one timeout. The Falcons have none. We have 17.9 to go. The Broncos have the arrow. The Falcons have the ball. What is each huddle saying here?
Right now, if you're Boise State, you don't want to give up anything easy, but don't foul right now. If you happen to give up something, that's fine, but stand for your man without fouling. If you're Air Force, you must get the first shot available. It does not necessarily have to be a three. However, whatever you do must be fast, must be quick in a hurry, because the clock is not your friend.
17.9 seconds. Rice is on the floor. Shaver, Hijab, Smith, and Dagon Hart. And it's Dagon Hart imploring the crowd to get up. Many of the Bronco fans do. Joe Scott will send out Taylor, Hydebreeder, Vanderswag, Walker, and Jackson. So Taylor to trigger. Shaver will front the entry. No, he's going to peel back and double Walker. Hydebreeder snaps it back to Taylor, 16 seconds. An escort from Shaver, 13 seconds. No timeouts.
You got to go faster than this.
10 seconds, Hydebreeder. 7 seconds on the drive, a miss. And there it is for Dagon Hart. The foul comes, 2.9. Dagon Hart to the line. And the Broncos are going to run their win streak to 10 in a row.
That's some too much time on the clock right there. Didn't get the look that they wanted. But great defense from Boise State.
The Broncos are going to end this game without hitting a field goal for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And win.
That's great defense. Testament to what they do on the other side of the floor.
That's what Leon Rice said entering the season. He knew the strength of his team, its identity, would be defense and rebounding, and they do that and then some. Dagon Hart has enjoyed his best Mountain West game as a Bronco. 19 points. Walker to Taylor. Heave at the horn. 62-56. Boise State has won 10 consecutive games.
The length, the athleticism, the size of Boise really got to Air Force. And Dagon Hart, absolute animal tonight.
Boise State now 4-0 in league play as Leon Rice's team gets it done in a big way. We'll step aside and we'll have more Mountain West action to come on the other side. The final 62-56.